Hey folks, here are OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the DRAGON K100 gaming keyboard. What's kind of unique about this is it may look like a mechanical keyboard, but unfortunately it's just a typical membrane-style keyboard with a pseudo-mechanical design. Which is to say that the caps themselves can be individually removed and swapped out in the case that they get worn off, or if you want to wash it or something. You can see the caps on the inside, though, makes absolutely no sound. It's a pretty silent keyboard, however, so if you're considering this for the purposes of gaming in a dorm or an environment where you don't want to bother other people, it may be the one for you. But as far as feedback is concerned, it's considerably more mushy than an actual mechanical keyboard is. With that in mind, I have to say that the design as well as the performance in here is pretty good for the price. It sells online for under 30 bucks, which is fairly cheap, and you definitely have a bit of saving compared to a physical mechanical keyboard. This one does have a LED backlighting, which kind of adds to the feature set as well as the cost. So here we have a braided wire, which is pretty tear resistant. It's a nice 1.2 meter long cable length, as well as a gold-plated connection for connecting to a Mac or a PC. It's a simple plug-and-play connection. It also works with tablets. The keyboard itself, again, it's illuminated, but it's backplate illuminated as opposed to each individual key, so you don't have a customization option like rippling effects where individual keys can be changed for their color or individual keys have a backlight. It's the entire thing which lights up in this rainbow spectrum, and you have a few animations and speeds to select through as well as brightness settings, but that is it. But it still looks very cool. Because of the acrylic backplate, it emits the light and spreads it over much more evenly, and it creates a very cool glow at night and darker environments. This is what the packaging looks like. It's fairly generic and I believe based out of Shenzhen, China, but it can be recycled, fairly eco-conscious, but there's no other instruction manuals. Everything as far as utility is concerned has to be figured out from the back of the box, which isn't too bad. It's a fairly standard keyboard. Again, will work with Windows as well as Macs. You can have a few additional controls for function as well as for media, and it's a full-size keyboard as well, so no issues as far as typing is concerned. It's a bit of a style difference if you are used to things like a chiclet or an island-style keyboard from a computer, however. A bit more of a retro throwback. Otherwise, on the side, there's a dedicated numpad or a number pad for doing quick calculations as well as number entry. And there's also LED lights on the top that shows you when the number lock, caps lock, scroll locks have been illuminated and hit, but there's no additional icons or illumination from the individual keys when you tap on that function. Otherwise, again, the back of the keyboard itself is made out of plastic as opposed to aluminum, which you find more on physical and real mechanical keyboards because they tend to be more hefty, which is to say this one is already quite heavy as far as keyboards go, but again, not quite as sturdy and strong as a real mechanical keyboard. But there are rubber feet, which prevents it from sliding around from a surface or a desk, and there's two standouts you can pop up for a elevated angle when you're typing as well as for gaming. Otherwise, again, pretty standard. You have a dedicated function row on the very top, as well as another set of numbers in addition to the numpad, of course, and also a specific Windows icon for bringing up that taskbar on the left side, as well as you can see the icon art looks fairly modern, and the font size here is fairly attractive and easy to read, even, again, under darker environments. I will say, though, from using this keyboard, I found the spacebar to be a little bit sensitive and not very well balanced, which is to say, because if you remove it, there's only this one center piece which reacts to motion. These two on the side just supports the weight, and as a result, if you tap on the space bar from the left or the right, it isn't as responsive as tapping that center on, as opposed to some keyboards I've seen where they have actually three separate pieces. So no matter where you tap on, it creates this very even feeling. So that's one of the areas where you know Dragon managed to cut costs a little bit to manage to make this keyboard in the first place. So next we're going to plug this into power and show you guys what the lighting effects are like. Again, pretty light, pretty bright. You can still even see it in daylight as well, which is cool. So if we have it plugged into a USB socket, I'm going to plug it into this tablet. There we go. This is what the boot up animation looks like, and after a few seconds it will allow you to also change it to always on or always off, so on and so forth. So you can't really change anything else beyond this color setup, which is one of the limitations. Let's turn off the light, and this is what it looks like in the dark. Again, the individual keys are transparent on the actual letter font part, which means you can still see it, but it does cast this rather even looking glow. I think it's a pretty cool effect. As far as changing this effect goes, you have the option of customizing it by tapping on this key over here, and right now we have it at a fade effect, so it fades slowly in and out, which might be a cool demo mode, and then again turns it completely off. And that's the three modes that you have. There's no other way to kind of change the lettering or the lights color scheme. You can change the brightness controls on the sides, and that's pretty easy to do, but this is what the medium brightness looks like, and it works pretty well. As far as general performance from a typing standpoint is concerned, I did find this to be a pretty good keyboard. I could get a pretty high words per minute count from this. I made few errors after getting used to it and typing on it for about an hour, I'd say. I was pretty used to it. Again, there's a slightly mushier feel, which is unfortunate because if you look at it, it just seems like a mechanical keyboard, and you want that very tactile, very clicky sense, but that is slightly missing. With that being said, as far as typing speed goes, better than any laptop keyboard I've tried, also better than, let's say, a chiclet or an island-style keyboard for sure, and I suspect this will last longer as well because of the fact that you can swap out the individual keys and clean them out, so and so forth. So a bit extra has gone into the manufacturing process, despite not being as expensive as a real mechanical keyboard. So not bad, but if you invest in a little bit more and you don't really care about the LED lighting, you could just get a mechanical keyboard without that backlighting, and retails for about the same amount of money. That's something to consider. Works well for games, and again works well with computers as well. You can check out more details about this Dragon K100 keyboard in our official written review, but this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.